Hey, Gary here with you. In today's video, we're taking a look at Systeme IO. We're picking up where we left off in the video about setting up the affiliate marketing funnel for free. I had this error message: our system has detected suspicious activity on your account. To contact support. I didn't actually have to contact support, or it doesn't appear that I'm going to have to contact support, because I went to log back in and I have this two-factor authentication code that they've sent to my email, and I'm going to pop that in and I'm going to sign in to see if that error message cleared. So I was messing with my DNS settings to set up email. You can see here that I have one new email lead, and what I wanted to do was I wanted to send an email. So I believe there's this message here: to receive payments, you must complete your profile. I want to take a look at contacts. Contacts should be under here. Yes, there's my lead. Under emails, I want to send a campaign, I believe. And here, I'm going to create a campaign, and I'm going to say new campaign, new test campaign, and I'm just going to call this the same. Going to go ahead and select save, and we're just going to walk through setting this up, because the point was to set up and send an email and see how this funnel is going to work. Create new test campaign. Subject here, we enter our subject. And again, this was a first look for me, so this is the first time I'm doing this. And again, extending on what we saw here in the setting up a affiliate funnel, so collecting a lead and then being able to actually send out our first email. So we'll send out our first follow-up email, because that's what we want to do when we create this funnel, when we get a lead, when people check out our affiliate offer. And I want to make sure that my sender email is the email that we had verified in the original email. We did have the visual editor here. I was going to go with the classic editor, so I'm going to go ahead and select save. To send emails from this email address, you need to authenticate its domain. All right, and I believe that was the problem that we were having before. So we'll go ahead and close that, and we'll just revisit this, because again, this is the first look to see that it's free, but what do we actually have to go through to get this thing set up? So here we can set up using SendGrid. Here are our domains. Here is your verified email. The email address is verified. Here it says click here to authenticate your domain. So to do that, we have to go through and verify the domain that we want to be able to send from. And this option is that we have to set it up and use our own domain name. Authentication to improve email deliverability. So in a lot of the cases, I've done this with GetResponse. I don't have to actually authenticate my domain. I just need to confirm the email or verify the email, and that's already been done. But it looks like we're going to have to verify this domain, and this is where I got left off here in the last video, because I got locked out of my account. It said to contact support. Looks like it timed out, and they just reset my account for me. So here I have my sending domain. We'll go ahead and save that. And then what is it doing? It went here. It gave me some information there for a second. It popped up on the screen, which I believe is the DNS settings that I need to configure. And then I just get this screen here where this is just a gray screen. We're going to go ahead and refresh this and see where that gets me. Because the idea and the focus here is that I'm all about following a proven strategy. And inside of affiliating a profitable online business, my proven strategy is the top strategy of traffic, offer, and people, essentially building an email list, which is what we're doing now, verifying our domain and setting up our sending email. But down here, we have to focus on tools, tech, and the time required before we get to the next step. And understanding that tools, tech, and time, the time it takes to evaluate these tools and set them up, and just to understand the process, which is what we went through over in the Watch This Affiliate Marketing Funnel Setup. I think it will help you start for free. But how much time do we need to spend to actually get this set up and get started? And do we need to upgrade? And now you can see that this is pending. So I did have to refresh that, but we'll go ahead and get these DNS settings. And I didn't want to make this about DNS or setting up DNS, because the way I set up DNS versus the way you set up DNS may be different. But you do need to add all of these values into your DNS. And again, not to get into the weeds of DNS, but under SiteGround, where I have my DNS zone editor, I have set up the Systeme IO information. So all this should be good to go. So we're going to go back here, and again, I set all this up. It says homepage detected for domain. We're going to go ahead and close that. It says here it's still pending. I'm not really sure why it is pending. Click here to authenticate your domain and display its information in your email headers. So we'll go ahead and see what we need to do with this. So we'll enter that domain. You have already authenticated this domain. So it says I've already authenticated the domain, but it says here the status is pending, but I verified the email address down here. So honestly, I am a little confused. Let's go ahead and reset this, because the first time we entered the domain, it just locked me out. This time, it's still saying it's pending, but if I click here to authenticate your domain and display its information email header, it says I'm already authenticated. So at that point, what Systeme is, or Systeme IO, and I want to say Systeme, but I believe it is actually pronounced Systeme IO, it's still complaining about this not having the domain set up. So at that point, I think I'm going to have to actually go and do a little bit of research and find the tutorials, student dashboard. Where are the actual tutorials? And that is something that I haven't seen. And I know I've been getting emails about setting up my account, but I don't know if it actually provided information about the tutorials. So I'm not sure where the tutorials are. Well, there's a help button right here. I guess I could go ahead and go there. And here it says, here are 3 ways to help. Help pages, video tutorials, and customer support. So here you have a full course on using Systeme IO to build your business, or do I want help pages? So here we're spending time to figure out exactly how this tool and this technology is going to work. We got an introduction video, how to manage your contacts, how to build a sales funnel, how to build a lead generation funnel, how to send and manage your emails. This is 5 minutes and 51 seconds. Automate your business. So it looks like they have some decent or a decent amount of videos here with some documentation. Let me go back here and let me look for a specific help function, how to add custom domain, how to authenticate your domain for email sending. You need a Systeme IO account, send emails in your Systeme account. Shows step 1, go to settings. Step 2, go to emails. Here we've clicked that. In the pop-up, enter your domain name without the www. Click continue to generate the 3 CNAME records. Integrate in your DS parameters. Numbers 4 through 5. In this example, we've launched this domain. Here it came up with my records. Authentication of a domain is mandatory. So they are making this mandatory, even though in majority of tools, you don't have to actually authenticate your domain. You just have to prove that you own the email address. I think they're doing this for spam and or deliverability issues, which I'm okay with. But you can see that I've been through all these steps here, and I've gone through and I've set up my domain entries. It's walking through here. And again, everybody's DNS is going to be different. I did add all these domain names. I did add all these CNAMEs in. All of those have been added in like I showed you earlier. Then scroll down, add a entry into the DNS. I did all this, did all that. DNS Checker. So let's go ahead and test what they have here with our DNS Checker, or with their DNS Checker. We'll go ahead and open this in a new tab. It says here, use the following site to check whether your CNAMEs are configured correctly. And then they have an image here. We'll go ahead and zoom this in, or zoom in here and see if we can make this a little bigger so I can see it and so you can see it. So what we're wanting to do is check our CNAME here. We want to check that CNAME they gave us to make sure that it is tied to, and this is showing SendGrid.net. So let's see. I'm not really sure what that image is showing us about Systeme. Maybe Systeme is using SendGrid. Once you have finished completing the 3 CNAME records, contact again so they can check your domain name. So that scenario 2 is you send emails using your own SendGrid. We definitely don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back up to the DNS Checker. And here we're supposed to be checking our CNAME. And we need to go back to our system settings. Here we're going to open up the DNS settings here that we're supposed to be going through. We're looking for this system name right here. So we're going to copy that. We're going to go back to DNS Checker real quick. We're going to enter that information in, and we're going to press search, and we're going to see what we get. And here you can see that XXXXX. So this is not coming up with the names that I need it to show. So we'll go back to these settings. Then what we're going to do is check our DNS. Here, I'm just going to open up a find window. And you can see right here, this is the CNAME that was given to me. It looks like, though, that I have a little extra here. If I highlight over that, I have 30minutemarketing.com, 30minutemarketing.com, which is supposed to be 30minutemarketingemail.com, just one. So we need to go back and edit that. So the point is, all this stuff is free. Like, you get free access to this, but I need to delete this and confirm that. And yes, delete this one as well. Confirm that and go ahead and delete this one as well. Cancel that. This thing is popping up all over the place. Go ahead and delete that and confirm. Of course, if you're doing this without the video running, you probably won't have the problems that I'm having here. But what we want to do now is we want to go ahead and we want to add, or we want to create a CNAME. And you can see here that the name is already 30 Minute Marketing. So here we need to take this out and we just need to make it the host name without the extras. And then we need the value that resolves to. So we'll go ahead and create. And now that's looking more like the way it should look. Now I've gone ahead and set up all three of those CNAMEs. I have the DMARC right there. So now we'll go back and we have that all set up. So we verified all of that. Here, this is still pending. And I said in the original video, and I'll say it again, I don't see a way to have this, or like a button to have it like check. Look, some fields contain invalid data. Scroll down to resolve the issue. So now this value should not be blank. I'm not trying to enter a new sender email. So this interface is a bit confusing, but I would like a button here is what I'm saying, because I want to be able to have this recheck. Plus, this gave me the information with my domain name when I technically just needed the host name. Again, this is when you're dealing with DNS. This is the time it takes. This is understanding that when you are putting all this together and you're utilizing free tools or a paid tool, you understand you're down here, you're doing tools, tech, and time, and for me and for everyone, we have to go through and we have to understand the tools, the technology, and the time that's going to be required to run all these checks. And now we're going to go back and we're going to click search on this to see if this is now resolving. And of course, DNS takes time to resolve. We do have one here that's checked, inbound Systeme IO. So that one was able to resolve. These are just other DNS servers. You can see it's propagating now. This has to propagate through the entire world. That's why DNS takes 24, 48, 72 hours, because these are all the DNS servers that it's checking. But you can see that it is getting greened up here with those green checks. So it shouldn't be too much longer before this is verified and this pending goes to active status and we can send some emails. So that'll be cool, but I don't see any other way to refresh this other than just refreshing the page. That's a little bit of a complaint that I have with the UI. But again, it's a free tool and they are making a lot of changes. I joined their Facebook group and I see that they're constantly making changes and updates. Here you can see that it's still pending. So again, we're kind of stuck in that same window, but so far I haven't been locked out of my email, or I haven't been locked out of my account at this point, at this time. So we'll have to wait for that to come back to say pending. And we're slowly walking through this dashboard, walking through setting up Systeme IO or Systeme IO and using the free account to see if this affiliate marketing funnel tool, while it's free, if it's actually going to help us and how long it takes us to get it set up. And then for me, being able to get it here and check off traffic by understanding that we're setting up and taking the time to set up the tools and the technology to get up here to be able to build an email list and say, yes, now I have pillar number 3 and I'm actually going to use Systeme IO to build that email list. Because remember, we were looking down here at how simple it was to build a squeeze page and the fact that it automatically just interacted with this step to build out the email list for me. And now we're just trying to automate the passive income by being able to send out that first campaign. So over here under emails, we want to be able to send out a campaign and then eventually click here and set up a newsletter, because we want to be able to create an automated resource here under newsletters to be able to create a newsletter to make sure that we're sending those out automatically to automate that passive income. Or essentially at that point, we're setting up the ability to generate leads by letting people see our offer and then add those people to that email list and then have that kick off that automated workflow or that campaign, or in this case, a newsletter, build a newsletter to set up and have that automatically be sent out when anyone checks out our offer, signs up to join our newsletter, or signs up to our email list in this case, and then we can automate that and then keep things moving. So again, we're going to come back and we're going to be looking at Systeme IO more and more here on the channel. If you have any questions, comments, or I've just flat out done anything wrong and you're screaming at the screen right now saying, Gary, that's not how you do it, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in my next Systeme IO update, and I'll talk to you then. Bye.